یادگاری از روزگاری به غایت دور
A different time it was. My small hands ripping happy kisses on the face of the wind. My young bouncy feet running through familiar alleys of desire. Me standing on the algae-covered pebbles of the ponds. Me cupping the stillness of water up to the sky. I would say that I was from a middle-class family in Iran. I had an easy life, very comfortable life during my childhood. My father, both my parents are educated. My father was a student here, actually. He studied in the United States at San Jose City College, where I worked for many years. And then he went to Utah and studied at Brigham Young University. So, but at some point he wanted to go back and serve his country. And I was here when I was a kid, till 3 years old or so. I'm told that I forgot Persian. I couldn't speak Persian. But we went back. But the revolution happened. At the time I was 13. My father was, I cannot say laid off, because he was just let go. We were always afraid of revolutionary guards knocking at our door and coming after him. During high school, that's the time that Iran-Iraq war was happening, during 80s. And I was a teenager, I was in high school, I was very depressed. I was a good student during high school, but didn't used to study at all. That's the time I was writing as well. I used to write. To my opinion, at that time, they were political. But nobody, of course, read them. It was just something for me. But at that time, I started writing a novel. And I had my audience at school. Every day I would go to school and read what I had written the night before. And my friends would circle around me and they would actually ask for it. That was the first thing that I wrote, which was kind of, what's the word for it? Confiscated. It was confiscated by the principal and the vice principal of the school. And the woman asked me to tear it up. That had a really important, very significant effect on my writing career and on myself, on my personality, character, everything. I went deeper into depression, continued writing. At that point, I was in the 12th grade, but I was the one who was destroying him. I didn't keep anything. And after that, after 2 years, I stopped writing. For a few years, I didn't write anymore. I was afraid. I'm away from the home country, but here in this country, I have this opportunity to do something. I wanted to do something, and people opened up to me, and they wanted me to get involved, and they wanted me to be part of what was going on. That took off from there. And I think that I had something to do with this, the shape of the community, Iranian-American community, at least in the South Bay. And I'm very proud of that, to know that I, made my mark on this community. For the last year, I've been a little bit quieter because I realized that I did my part, and there always needs to be new blood, and they're carrying the torch. And I think it's time for me to kind of do my own thing, because the time that I could spend on my art, I spend in the community. In regard to Iran, it's a tyranny by itself. But at the same time, the community also has its own tyranny. The family is also another tyranny. These move parallel to each other. these days we hear so many things about the new generation in Iran that are changing everything, and so many things that my generation, had to adhere to and respect and follow are not in the picture anymore. As for us in the United States, in this area, I see that all of us have taken, or most of us have taken this opportunity, this freedom that we have here. Always, since my childhood, the traditions that we had bothered me. I wasn't a person to, when I was very young, I wasn't a person to go and shout against it. And I took every opportunity to show my, disregard, to show that I'm not happy about these traditions. And when I came to the United States, this was the best opportunity for me to use this freedom. That's why I eloped. I wanted to be myself. I was telling myself, I'm a human being. If I want to marry someone, if I want to have relationship before marriage, I'm going to do that. And it's nobody's business. I appreciate that part of the American culture that respects and acknowledges individuals and their freedom. So I took advantage of that, and I run with it. Other women also did that. And as you said, we had groups. We still have groups. Of course, my friends started before me, years prior to me. And they had established groups, women groups, Zanan groups, who have done so much, helped with the conferences. Like, for example, one of the most famous one is the March 8th, International Women's Day, into the community, into the Iranian-American community of this area, trying to attract people to situation of Iranian women, especially in Iran. It's been 25 years since I left Iran. I went back only twice, and I don't really know if I can go back again. But Iran has always been a part of me, very strong part of me, and I always carry it with me. I love United States, and I see it as home. However, Iran is a part of me. It's a part of my, it's in my heart, and I cannot live without it even for one day.